like we're back in the studio. Los Angeles, 1997.
That's a good analogy.
Brett Gurwitz behind the controls.
I don't need to tell the truth, but I never lie. I don't need to bow to you. You're just passing by. I never wanted to be the one you bitch and moan and come home to. But as long as you look good, I'll come back to you. Get inside my troubled mind with all of your threats. Sometimes I think I was blind. Not before we met. I never wanted to be the one that you depend on for your life. When you cry, it smells like soup. Sound like Shona Knife. Never fear, though I said all night. I gotta ride. Each time I said all night. No, I just might. You make me stay all night. It's just that side of you tonight that makes me stay all night. I'm gonna stay all night. You're an evil little girl. I'm a twisted man, tearing through your perfect world. Make you understand. I never wanted to be the one you bitch and moan and come home to. But as long as you look good, I'll come back to you and do the things you do. Stay all night. I gotta ride. Each time I stay all night. No, I just might. You make me stay all night. It's just that side of you tonight that makes me stay all night. I'm gonna stay all. I would never treat you bad. You deserve the best from me. If you want to keep your place, you better get down on yours.
Yeah, Todd wrote this one.
Yeah. You think?
This is not mine.
Stand all night, I gotta ride. Each time I stand all night, no, I just might. You make me stand all night. It's just that side of you tonight that makes me stand all night. I'm gonna stand all night.
R.I.P. Todd.
Text the round robin your questions, comments, wagers. Give us a reason. Sleeper fantasy play, your best alternative line, whatever you have. Text the round robin 757-354-5517.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing us that star-spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
You are tuned in to the Round Robin with Stephen Murray on Deep End Broadcasting.
Good morning. This is the Round Robin. I am Stephen Murray. We are broadcasting live from our deep end studios here in a lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, a rainy Virginia Beach, Virginia, here in the United States of America. Divisional playoff Sunday is upon us. 2 more games. We have 2 in the books on this enthralling weekend, and we got treated to a great game in the first one and a tremendous offensive output by Seattle. If you had, the props were going to be a little tough to get last night. I'm not sure how many winners we had out there. I was able to cash some team stuff. I had a parlay with the over in the first game and the Seattle team point over, which cashed for me. So that was nice. And I think I came up 3 Brock Purdy yards short of hitting about 1,500, $2,000 more on top of that. So they pulled him out for Mac Jones late in that game when it was meaningless, and that ruined the day. Purdy had 3 or 4 runs on that last opportunity, and he just kind of scattered out of bounds, didn't necessarily fight for what he needed. And there you go. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Speaking of crumbling, how about the fact that Denver lost their quarterback in that beyond a controversial game? Now, if you see the comments everywhere, we'll get to Bo Nix in a minute and my thoughts there. It's definitely tough to see anyone get hurt this late in the season. Both of those teams suffering multiple injuries yesterday. You don't even know how the Bills could make it through next week, to be honest, much less the Super Bowl, the way they were trending with their injuries. But I was sitting there the entire game telling myself how these referees are not getting involved. They're letting these guys play. And then the flags come out in rampant fire towards the end of that game. Now, the counter argument is this, and I've seen plenty of footage of the holding in the end zone, which should have ended the game on a safety, perhaps. Bills getting away with multiple holding calls. They turned the ball over a bunch. They didn't deserve the win, which is a lot true, to be honest. I'm not going to argue that. But what gets me with these referees, and whether that was an interception or not, where Cooks let go of the ball as he hit the ground, maybe didn't quite have 100% possession, although it looked like he did for a brief instance to me, which would basically have declared him down if that were the case. I mean, that was a blatant pass interference call. The defender was in his face. So if you're going to throw those pass interferences late against Buffalo, you got to throw that one against Denver for a pass interference as well. So I don't know if it's a little bit of home cooking at the end of the day. I don't know if it matters. No one's, if you're a fan of any team, you're not going to cry a river for Josh Allen getting knocked out of the playoffs, as he is one of the bigger threats for your team not to win the championship at the end of the day. But the Bills are jettisoned, and on moves forward with another home game will be the Broncos. And Bo Nix now out. How about that? And what sweet irony this would be if New England wins today, that they would go against a quarterback that they drafted who sat behind Brady forever. Brady would never, ever relinquish the playing field at any given time, even late in the game. So Jared Stidham outstays his rookie contract and basically has to move forward to a new team. So Stidham never with his chance in New England, and now he'll get a chance to upset the apple cart for the Patriots against his old team, perhaps. We can't jump ahead. The Pats still have to beat the Texans today. But a unique storyline there. I don't know how many people realize that Stidham once was a Patriot, by the way. So interesting subplot for that game, if that is the case with the Pats and the Broncos next week. And what can you say about the 49ers, where we talked about the Bills running out of injuries and energy altogether? That's basically what happened to the Niners. They hit a roadblock. They turn the ball over. They allow a score right out of the gate. Compound that with their own mistakes. And next thing you know, you have a Seattle walkover. So nice two little game parlay cashes for us with the over, which we told you we liked yesterday in the Niners game, and then with the Seattle over team points. I like the over in that game, period. I thought the Niners would give us a little bit more. Really, I thought they would give us more like 20 points. Now it'd be like a 41-20 type of game. But they are able to completely shut down San Francisco as their walking wounded was growing by the minute as well. A lot of it just injured players overall last night and yesterday. McCaffrey, Stinger, Tungus got hurt. So the Niners and Bills basically have worn out to the vigors of the season, right? And you guys won 18 football games. You can't even field the team after the regular season of 17 games in the playoffs. At least not one that mirrors what could be a Super Bowl champion. And this isn't the first time this has happened to Buffalo. This has happened a few times now where Buffalo and the Bills just simply ran out of bodies. I agree, 4th and 1, Allah, as he comments on our YouTube. Bad calls yesterday in the games. I agree. Let the players determine it. And at worst, that was a interference penalty with that throw to Cooks. Brad Bitson weighs in also. He says, God bless. He says, us. Brad Bitson, let us know where you're tuning in from. 4th and 1, Allah, good to hear from you again as well. All right, so what do we do now? We can focus forward. We got 2 more games. We got to knock them out and come up with some more winners. In fact, I have some of the action left over from yesterday on the team side of things to where if New England and the Bears can be very successful today, then we'll be looking at some more winning tickets and some big payouts, perhaps. So we'll look forward to that. We're going to have to get a little bit more prop heavy with myself and reload here. Now, how prop heavy can you get in the game that might be rainy and windy up in New England? Let's get the weather forecast of where we sit right now. That's what we do towards the top of the show. For the last 4 years, one of the basis of this program, which is a special start time today, if you're not aware of that. We're coming on just after 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually we start every Sunday at 7 a.m. and we have to get through all the material for our bets, which takes us a good 4 to 5 hours just to get out by noon, sometimes even later than that. So let's see what the weather is now. This is one of the things we do towards the top of the show. Look at this. In New England today, 33 degrees with an 80% chance of precipitation for the game with New England and Houston. I see 3 and 3.5, and I see 40.5 for the total. So do we get a rain, sleet, snow game with the Pats and the Texans? In Chicago, where the Bears host the Rams, I see Rams 3.5, 48.5. I also see, let's see here. I also see 3.5 and 48.5. Okay. So that seems to be the standard number. We're now looking at where we look like we were free and clear yesterday. 18-mile-per-hour winds, 55% chance of precipitation now, 20 degrees, the temperature at kickoff. Could we get 2 snow games today? Wow. I would say this, just because of the weather elements alone, and you are never losing a bet when you bet the under, I would go ahead and fire in just to be safe. A double under parlay now. I know we like our over stats. We like our over props. But you have to have a ticket today. You got to at least give yourself some sort of an insurance policy where you have to bet this game double under if we're going to actually have the weather here. Maybe the team points under for the Texans if you like the Patriots, and then maybe the team points under for the Rams if you like the Bears, if you want to take it that route. But I think you need to bet a double under today. What can we do for an alternate number? And if we just have bad weather scenarios, and this is one of my old school gambling dealios as being the bookie and sports bettor for many years. We haven't had a Sunday in a while where we have 4 or 5 snow games happening at the same time, but you definitely got to parlay all the unders together and even put them on the alt line a little bit. Houston and New England, let's just say under 35.5. We'll get conservative as plus 186 today. And then let's knock down this Bears and Rams one all the way down to 41.5, just for the worst case scenario type of play. And consider this again like an insurance policy, because I know all you guys are going to want to bet over on everything out there. Again, if you want, find some player props to go under with. I mean, what did Ricky Pearsall do yesterday? How many catches did he have? Right? So, I mean, you're going to get a ton of unders. Under 41.5 is plus 215 for the Rams and the Bears, and that now pays 8-1. $25 went to you $200 back. I'm willing to say that most people will be spending about $200 today on their bets. So this double under scenario, if everything goes to crap, at least gets you your money back, I would say. So that's a good little professional angle. Give yourself some wiggle room, and that should help. The 4th and 1 a la is up there in New Haven, Connecticut. Light snow for the game with New England. And you're right. Run game should be on fire there for the Patriots. I agree with you today. In fact, the short screen game, which has been very successful for New England, comes into play as well. It really, really does. Look at this, guys. Has this line moved since I jumped all over it yesterday? And I'm going to bring this up to Dave Delgrandy too. But yes, it is. It's up a little bit. Travion Henderson was 4.5 receiving yards. Now he's 5.5. You don't see a scenario with Travion Henderson busting it down the sidelines a couple of times, perhaps. How about this? 12-1 odds. I got 17-1 odds earlier this morning on Travion Henderson to get 40 yards or more receiving. Hey, slippy and sliding on the defense. Yeah, why not? In a game that's going to have some precipitation, some slickness. It favors the offense once they get going and get a full head of steam. So the 17-1 on Henderson, the 40-1 is gone. The 12-1 sits there still. Okay. So what we'll do now, we'll go ahead and get our man on from Castro Valley, California, part 2 of the weekend with our guy, Dave Delgrandy. He's a writer for Deadspin, covers all sports. His beat is the Golden State Warriors. So we had to see a lot of Golden State action with him. The OG of fantasy football, ESPN's first ever employee. And he's gracious enough to join our show with his picks every week throughout our 4 years of this program. And we look forward to getting to it. Get your pens and papers ready. Here we go. His picks the rest of the way out. We'll do Dave Delgrandy now. I'll come back with my art of making the tickets. We'll build some tickets together, and then we'll get Nephew Dave and the Ant-Man, and we'll see what we can come up with a slew of plays and what could be a messy afternoon of football considering the precipitation. Bet the double under now. I'm telling you, under in the Bears game and under in the Pats game, just to cover your double under insurance if that's the route these games are going to go this afternoon. All right, so without further ado, our man from Castro Valley, California, Dave Delgrandy. All right, the one topic I wanted to get to you with on Sunday, just to occupy a little bit more time. The two picks won't take forever. We're going to have a little bit of content for the Sunday show. But I'll reflect a little bit back to last weekend again. Screaming at the top of my lungs at the play calling for a couple of guys. And that would be LaFleur, obviously, and McVay. McVay coming out of that second half with just atrocious play calling, throwing the ball down the field. Now, I kind of wanted LaFleur to do McVay's game plan and McVay to kind of do LaFleur's game plan. It just seems to me, this goes back to last year with the Packers as well. How many times I've had them for their team point alternate over, even at a modest like 27.5 around their baseline over, or to get to 33 points. They look like that they're sailing well on their way. And I was smart enough this season to kind of get off this trend. At halftime, they have 21 points. Not necessarily this year, but last year. And then when they decide to be a fun team and attack down the field, they get to 21 points. And then the second half comes and it's absolutely nothing. They do nothing towards your total, maybe give you a field goal. And it's just almost amazing how short you come up on the alternate number for Green Bay simply because they let off the gas. So complete coaching malpractice to me for LaFleur and his coaching with the team that he has. When you get a team down, you see it all the time. These teams trying to get cute with the clock, trying not to play to win, more so playing to lose. And half the time, it does come back and bite them in the butt. They end up losing the game. I just don't know why they just don't continue to play football. McVay, he has Carolina on the ropes. I mean, come on. You've been keeping Kyron Williams healthy. Let him have it. And he was playing good. And yes, I know we like to use Corum a lot more. Probably used him a little bit more than he should have, as Kyron seemed to be being the better back. But just play calling in general for these two, strategic mindset of LaFleur. I can't believe that they're talking about giving LaFleur a long-term contract, to be honest. So I would think that he would be on his way out, and they've had enough of what they've seen. But it sounds like that is the opposite. But I was pulling my hair out completely. And for that alone, when we get to the Bears later, I don't know if I can trust McVay and some of his coaching calls. All right, so just kind of tell me where maybe I'm wrong here, maybe in specifics to McVay or whatever. But both of these coaches had me pull my hair out watching their games last week.
Well, I think that, we hear there all the time about halftime adjustments. And even teams that have had success in the first half of the game, I think they spend an inordinate amount of time thinking, all right, what's the other team talking about right now? And you got a team like Green Bay who's had success throwing the ball down the field. And you're thinking that, all right, I know what they're thinking, what they're talking about right now over there on their side. And it's that, you know what, we're going to get after the quarterback more. We're going to use our pass rushing line rather than our run stopping line. And we're going to put in our pass catching linebacker instead of our run catching linebacker. And it'll make us more vulnerable against a run, but that's okay. We've got to stop their pass. So, the offensive mind like LaFleur thinks, I'm going to beat them to the punch. They're going to think we're going to pass, so we're going to run. And unfortunately, in his case, they're not a great running team. I think the Rams are a different team. I think the Rams are equally good running and passing and can shift gears like that better even when things are going well. I don't think Green Bay can do that. I mean, Green Bay is a team that is the type of team that usually doesn't have success in the NFL, and that is a team that just plays bombs away. We've got these speedy receivers all over the place, and we're just going to chuck the ball down the field time and again and get our big plays, get our big time touchdowns, and ride with it. And unfortunately, that doesn't play well in the second half of games when, like you said, you're trying to run out the clock a little. And man, if I throw the ball down the field 20 yards 3 times and it's all incomplete, I've exhausted 15 seconds on the clock and we gave the ball back to the other team. So we need to do something different. I mean, and to me, it's like, well, that lack of confidence in your offense is not healthy. You just scored 21 points in the first half, playing one way. It's been successful. It's your best way. Keep doing it. And I'm reminded in the NBA, when in watching the Warriors play for all those years where they weren't very good, but they were really high scoring. And this would happen a lot. They'd run up and down the court in the first half. They'd put up 65 points against the Lakers. They'd be ahead by 15 at halftime. And they come out in the second half, and it's like, okay, we need to slow it down some, use up more clock. And the next thing you know, they score 40 points in the second half, and they lose by 10 points. It's like, no, stick with what you're good at. And Green Bay is really good, or maybe the best team in the league, at throwing the ball down the field. You've got an opponent that's having trouble stopping it. Why would you stop doing it? And that to me is very frustrating.
Yes. All right. Let's get to the games for today. I'm wondering if you tipped your cap to me a little bit on this one. We're talking about the games yesterday. But I'm going to take New England here for the same reason I took them over the Chargers. I think they're just going to be a little bit better of the team here at home. Stroud has to do better for sure in my book. New England defense is probably not quite the Houston defense, but they're not as bad as advertised. I said that last week, and they showed that 100%. When they want to put the pressure on, that they certainly are able to. So I think the difference here is the home field advantage. The fact that Houston is a Southern team, it's not going to be the worst in the world here. I mean, we're talking about weather-wise of 34 degrees. Now, we're looking at potential rain, though, and 60% I see now. So that'd be interesting if we get into the equation. 35 degrees. So that's kind of on the border of snow. Be interesting to see how that might turn out. But either way, I think that's an advantage for New England here in some sort of way. I just think that they win this game. If you would have told me I'm a Patriots fan and I could sign up for beating the Chargers and then the Texans to get into the AFC Championship game, I would have signed up for that all day long, without a doubt. Don't even ask me any other questions. Give me the pen and paper. Let's go ahead and do that. So I do like New England here. You mentioned the big backs for the Patriots. I think they are every bit the difference. Ramondre Stevenson, when we were ready to write him off maybe a little bit earlier this season, and we kept asking ourselves, how come we can't get Henderson involved more? How come we can't get Henderson involved more? And then Stevenson starts to fumble the ball, almost becomes a little frustrating in its own. You got to give Vrabel the credit for not jumping ship on him, for not jumping ship on the kicker, too, who's had his struggles. He's had the full support of him, and that seems to have been paying off as he's been much, much better with his confidence in the second part of the season. He'll miss one here or there, but he'll come back and make the next one and the next few after that. Drake May's going to get it done with his legs here as well. Stroud would be best served if he runs the ball. And there were instances in that Monday night game where he probably should have ran. Now, he made a couple of the passes down the field that were fine to kind of bail him out. But he had big open lanes to run where he chose not to. And that could come back and haunt him here in this game. If we're going to have no Nico Collins, because he hasn't been practicing, and the concussion, I don't think that helps the cause either for the Texans. Bad spot for Houston overall. I get it. Their defense is really, really good. Is it the 86 Bears? I think the jury is still out on that. New England has their own defense of their own, and probably just at the end of the day, a much better running attack, and maybe even the better quarterback here for sure. And probably with no Nico, probably the better receiving unit as well. So give me New England to win this game. And the over-under is interesting at 40.5 because you do think that this is a lower scoring game. That's what you want to think. But it hasn't moved that way. I feel like if this was a true under game, we'd be somewhere like at 38.5 points, 37.5 points, kind of like where the Chargers and Patriots were last week. And if the Texans have a better defense than the Chargers, then why wouldn't this be a little bit lower? Maybe. I think we see the Patriots get a few points here, and I don't doubt it's because that defense. You used the word about some of these other teams might get a little tired from being on the field a little too much. Vrabel does know this team well from being in Tennessee. So I think that kind of helps the cause as far as game planning. And I think Josh McDaniels will come up with some sort of a game plan here that's going to make the Patriots a better team. So I will say final score, New England 27, and I'll give the Texans I'll give them 14 points here, and we'll get that over the total. So New England for me. What do you like?
Well, I don't know where the points are going to come from Houston. You're right. They're limited in their passing game. The quarterback is, he's a down the field thrower, guy who you indicated does not necessarily like to run the ball, which I think is a positive in some way because a lot of the big plays Houston gets is when he scrambles and instead of running, he finds that receiver wide open 40 yards down the field. New England's not the kind of team, though, that's going to give up those kinds of plays. They're just very solid on both sides of the ball. And I think Houston's going to have a tough time scoring against New England. Now, Houston's defense is the best in football, I think. And they're certainly going to make things tough on New England. And New England with a young quarterback, maybe the biggest game he's ever played this week. Nothing's going to be easy. But New England's offensive game plan is good, best suited for playing a team like this, where let's not get crazy. We're not going to drop back and throw the ball 30 yards down the field and put our quarterback at risk and sacks what have you. Let's be smart. Let's throw the ball to our tight end, which we do as well as any team in the league. It's been a vulnerability for Houston this year, and let's have our quarterback use his legs, as you indicated, to get key first downs, maneuver around that pass rush that Rodgers couldn't deal with last week because he's not a scrambler. Well, this guy's the opposite, and this guy's a very smart runner. Another area where Houston's one of the worst teams in the league at defending quarterbacks running the ball. And so it's the perfect plan for going up against this iron wall is, all right, we're going to throw the ball short to our tight end. And when, we're going to drop back our quarterback, but first signs of trouble, we're going to tuck that ball under and run, for 5 to 10 yards at a time. I think that both of those, modes of attack are better than anything that Houston's got on the other side of the ball. So I think New England will find a way to put up some points that Houston can't score in this game. But I do think it's going to be very low scoring. I would look at, 24-14 tops in this game, possibly 24-10, possibly 21-10. I just don't see the big plays in this game, especially with Houston's injuries, with Houston's defense. It just doesn't seem like, but Houston just scored 30 points against Pittsburgh. Yeah, but 20 of them were scored by the defense.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
and that's not going to happen in this game.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be a not a 17-7 game, although that's possible with these two teams. But I do think New England, I'm torn between two good plays here, between the May rushing the ball. This has been a theme of mine in the playoffs. I think he could have a lot of success there, and in throwing the ball to the tight end, which they do regularly. But this is a team that you really want to do that against. So give me some numbers there.
May is 35.5 for his baseline, so he's up there a little bit.
Yeah, he is.
And Hunter Henry, you'll like this, I think, a little better. 39.5 for him.
And how many catches?
Let's see here. Receiving or receptions for Hunter Henry. 4 is a minus 120. 5 is at plus 182. 6 is at plus 370.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say, both those numbers are a little higher than I would like. But
I think 5 sounds legit. Plus 182.
Yes, especially like I said, the way to attack a big pass rush is just get rid of the ball early. This team's given up a lot of yards, a lot of catches to tight ends this year. New England likes to throw to the tight ends, so it's not like they're going to be doing anything differently than they do against most other teams, except that, against Houston, it seems to be the best way to go. So, I'll find a way to use all three of those numbers, and then May's rushing yards, as well. So
the other guy now, Stevenson, has been as good of a receiver out of the backfield in the league as anybody else now recently here in the last 8 weeks or so. And he's been getting over his prop and getting his receive yards. He's at, let's see here, but he's not even the one I'm going to favor in this scenario here. 20.5, which seems low enough for him. He's been getting 25, 30 easily. Now, his buddy, Travion Henderson, we talked about him, 4.5 for his receiving yard number. I got to take that over. Got to take it over. And 25 yards for Travion Henderson receiving is plus 750. 30 yards plus 920. 40 yards, 17-1. Again, if you're going to attack someone like Juszczyk, maybe by himself on some of his numbers, then not the worst thing in the world, maybe just try to load up on Henderson and hope for the best here on some cheap numbers for big payouts.
Yeah, and, it's one of those things where, conservative player like myself, as opposed to you, would look at those numbers and say, you know what, play both of the running backs over their receiving totals, because one of them is going to get it.
Yes.
At least.
Yep.
And so if one's going to get it, then you're playing with the house's money with the other guy. And so, take a shot with both of them. And, I think you'll at least break even.
All right. All right, Dave. Good enough. What, the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship next week? Anything else you want to say? Anything else?
Well,
you might be thinking about? What do you got?
Yeah, I'm thinking that there's a second game on Sunday.
Oh, yes, there is. I'm getting way ahead of myself, aren't I? That's good radio. That's funny right there. Okay, one more game, and the wrong team is favored to me, Dave. I like the Bears here, and I like them because, one, the Rams don't know how to put the dagger in you when you're down and out. And to not be able to do that to a team like the Bears in that kind of weather in that stadium is going to prove costly in this game. I like the Bears as the live underdog. I think they went outright. I would not even doubt if they won by a couple of scores. Your Bears have been fantastic. Your man Caleb Williams made one of the best throws I've seen all season, kind of falling back to his butt, down the sidelines, putting in a spot that only his player could get to it. Dunze seems to be kind of clicking back, but DJ Moore is the one who's really, really clicking here, and he's been on fire. Loveland, at one point, Loveland was your second leading yardage receiver last week until he lost it to Christian Kirk on Monday night. How about that? So Loveland was your weekly receiving leader until Kirk spoiled the day for you. You wouldn't think Kirk would spoil the day, but he did as a long shot. And I think the Bears are just going to be too much at home here in the weather. Their ground game's fantastic. The coach is cutthroat. I love how he coaches, that's for sure. And the Rams probably do get some points. I think they'll freeze their butts off at the end of the day. DJ Moore, how about this? DJ Moore for 2 touchdowns in this game, 35-1. What am I missing on that? He loves DJ Moore lately. So I would put a ticket on him. I'm not sure how Dunze or Burden's a favorite over him, actually. By numbers, they are shorter shots. And my guy, Manungai, don't doubt that this kid has some sort of a big game beyond Swift as well. Manungai, he doesn't catch it much, but when he does, he moves the ball. And at 9.5 yards, I'll take a shot with him on his over yardage as well. So give me the Bears. The Rams, the sands of the hourglass will fall out on them. Their defense has been bad in the last 6 weeks. And your Bears, as predicted in the preseason, can put up a ton of points. And I think that they have the full support of the home crowd here. And if the Rams look ugly, I'm not going to doubt it one bit. So give me the Bears. What do you got?
Well, I think this is far and away the highest scoring game of the week. I mentioned this last week about the Rams. The one concern I had with the Rams last week against Carolina, that the Rams just are not playing well defensively.
Yeah, not at all.
And they got away with it last week, barely. And this week they're going up against a team that's, they're clicking on all cylinders, as you would have projected at the beginning of the year when you're bringing this great offensive mind. You've got all these weapons, but you got a quarterback you're not really sure is a good fit here and kind of struggle a little early on. Had some injuries. I think they've figured it all out now. I mean, getting Burton involved in the passing game more, has helped Moore become a good secondary receiver. Dunze, they don't throw the ball to him very much anymore, but he's still capable. You mentioned Loveland. He's become a big factor in the passing game, and yet you still got these 2 running backs who are very good. And I love it, the 9.5 receiving yards from Manungai. He seems to be the better of the 2 at catching the ball. And I just think that you're going to see both teams moving the ball well in this game. I think Nakua could have a monster game in the sense that, in a game like this, why do we not throw him the ball every other play? I mean, I think you could really look for him, to get 15 to 20 targets in this game. Not necessarily go for 150 yards or whatever, but just keep catching the ball because he always gets open. Chicago, at best, they're a mediocre defensive team. I don't think the weather's going to be a big factor. Something that, if this game were on Saturday and it were in the night slot, and then all of a sudden this game's starting at 7:00 in Chicago, then you got a problem. But they don't do Sunday night anymore, right? I mean, so this is going to be Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, 5:30 there. 5:30 there, Tom.
Oh, 5:30. Okay,
Yeah.
so I thought it would be a little earlier, but even 5:30, a lot better than 8:00 start in terms of how cold the weather. I think the Rams The Rams are a really good offensive team, like Chicago. They've probably got the best running back in this game, although they've got two good ones like Chicago. They probably got the best receiver in this game. They've got a great second receiver. They've got a tight end. They got an established quarterback. I don't see the Bears slowing them down. I think this is going to be your game of the week. I think it's going to come down to a last the thicker kicker coming on the field and kicking a field goal at the end. I can easily see 28-26, 26-24 type of game. I don't know what total they put on this game, but I got to believe it's at least in the upper 40s.
Yes, we are at, let's see here, 48.5.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to go over that. I think both teams have a chance to score over 24 in this game. There is a really intriguing. This bit us in the you-know-what last week, and I'm guessing the same thing is happening in this game here. But you've got, I talk a lot about rushing yards for quarterbacks. The Bears have given up a lot of rushing yards to quarterbacks.
Right.
Matthew Stafford for the season. Okay, you remember in the NFL, you don't get negative when you get sacked. Okay, Matthew Stafford this year carried the ball 38 times. You want to guess what his rushing total was for the year?
I will say, because of the kneel downs, I will say that he was at minus 17.
There you go. I mean, he was -9.
Okay.
-9 yards. I mean, just an indication. You're right. And the Rams won, 10, 11 games where you would think that at least half of them.
Well, last week he got to 2,
down.
and then he knelt it down twice, and they screwed you on it. Yeah.
Right. And so, so out of his 38 carries this year, probably 20 to 25 of them at least were kneel downs. And so this guy he's like Aaron Rodgers. He just doesn't run the ball a lot. And Rodgers, did not run the ball once last week in the game where his rushing total was half a yard. It just seemed like an obvious play. All you got to do is run one time, one sneak, and you get there. Well, he didn't run the entire game.
He could have. He had his chances, too.
He did have his chances. Stafford is a much more mobile quarterback. Let's not, compare him to, Lamar Jackson. But he's,
he'll sneak it.
In a big game like this, with the, advancing to the NFC Championship on the line, 3rd and 3. You don't think he's going to stick his head down and try to get that 4th yard, even if he just runs one time. So I'm very, very curious to hear his rushing total in this game, and it could,
half a yard plus
be higher.
Half a yard plus 134.
It's a half. Okay, half a yard. That's what I thought.
And plus money, plus 134.
And I'll, call me, bullheaded, but I'm going right back to that well, and I'm taking him over his rushing total there. And I think, I said Nakua. I want especially his number of catches, but I'll look at his yards as well. I like Monongai, like you said, in his rushing total, and I would look at Burden as well as a touchdown scorer, as a guy who's going to be upward of 50 or 60 receiving yards, which hopefully is right about where his number is. So I like all of those.
I'll give you one more rushing one because in the cold weather, I see Puka Nakua running the ball at least once. Over 3.5 for him on his rushing total. I could see reverse or something like that.
Yeah,
they
do use him. In the quick motion and snap it and hand it to him, running left to right or whatever. And, gain 5 yards and cash. So what's his receiving numbers?
His receiving numbers. And we get plus 360 for 15 yards rushing as well for Puka. 98.5 is his baseline yards. And his receptions. And I had him for 6 receptions last week, and that easily went over. Let's see. He's more expensive this week. 8 catches is minus 114.
Well, I think he's going to get there easily. I mean, I'd be shocked if you were under 10 catches.
10 catches is plus 265, so we get a plus
Yeah,
number there. Yeah.
Yeah, plus 265. That's a nice number. And then what's Burden?
Let's see. A Burden is baseline 38.5. Man, his number is down so low for a while. I was on him for the longest time, and I kind of got off him, and that's when he got going. Usually I've been good about that this year. I was just, what I did is I went to Loveland, which was actually still a good call. Burden for his receiving yards alternate. If we go to 50, we get plus 235, 70 plus 360. His reception number is at.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to be a high reception guy.
Yeah.
He's a down the field.
Yeah, right.
15 to 20 yards at a time guy. The 38.5, I think, is a really, really cheap number for him. So I mean, I've got
minus
my handful of
120 for a
places.
20-yard catch.
Yeah, but I think I gotta believe both quarterbacks are going to throw. Going to throw at least 2 touchdowns in this game as well. And so I just think that there's, this is your green light game.
Full green light. Yep. Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, quarterbacks, these, those top receivers, the fun stuff, the Monongai, the Nakua rushing, and then, of course, the ultimate fun play, the Stafford rushing number. So
Stafford for 2 touchdown passes, minus 235. 3 gets you plus 162. 2 for Caleb is plus 126. 3 is at plus 490. And then if you want a nice alternate number on Monongai, let's take Monongai to break one, and let's just say he gets 30 yards. You get plus 430.
Well,
So,
as I
we have
said,
some fun.
This is the game where, I mean, if you're going to play a lot of stuff, or hook up a lot of your early stuff to late stuff, I just think that there are several options for you in this late game, and so we've talked about the Saturday games, we talked about the Sunday game. If there's some fun stuff to you got a long shot in one of those games, and take him and hook him up to Nakua's 8 receptions, or hook him up to Burden's receiving yards. Or, I mean, you've got any number of things to put on the back end there to allows you to have a little more variety on the front end.
How about this? $100 wins you $3,176. 25 yards receiving, Monongai and Henderson.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big payout for a somewhat reasonable request.
Yeah. If they give us some sort of a risk-free, that might be the play. Let's see. If they give us $250 risk-free like they did last weekend, which is essentially the free bet, if you don't win it, they put it back into your betting account as, bet on whatever you want. It's basically money. But $250 would pay you $7,940.
Nice.
And that makes for the afternoon interesting. Okay. Anything else on these 2 games? Am I forgetting the third game?
No.
Okay.
Like I said, it's nice that it's always nice that where the last game, the bailout game, has a lot of options.
Right.
Because then you got a pocket full of cash from the first 3 games. Now do I want to reinvest in all these things I like, or do I want to just watch the game and have fun? Hey, it gives you some nice options. Or if you're the other way around, things haven't gone well in the first 3 games, and then you start thinking, well, you know what? Those weren't the games. In retrospect, those weren't the games to be involved in. We knew all along that this last game was going to be. So I got a chance to catch up. Go ahead. Let's put it all on Stafford to to
Well,
rush for 1 yard.
The bailout game is going to be the Monday night game with Indiana and Miami. Would you lay the 8.5 points with Indiana?
Yeah, but
Something tells me they're going to cover that number.
yeah, but I mean, they just look so good. It's amazing. You don't see this. Even
It's
at
our
the
man
NFL
Signetti,
level.
man. We talked about him
exactly.
last year.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, the passes that Mendoza throws, the back shoulder thing, it just seems like this team has been practicing for 10 years.
Right.
All right, we've got to perfect exactly when we're going to throw this ball and exactly when the receiver is going to turn around. I mean, there were times in that Oregon game where the guy was smothered. There's no way you're throwing the ball to that guy on the outside with the defender in his jersey, and yet they throw this back shoulder thing where the timing's perfect. The guy turns around. The defender doesn't even know it's coming. He catches the ball 25 yards down the field, first down, and it's like, you've got to be kidding me. What have we run into here? This is a machine. It is amazing how well coached that team is.
I've had the future back since October. Indiana and New England. New England just to win the AFC. Don't even need to win the Super Bowl. So if New England wins, Indiana wins, then it'll come down to the championship game next weekend. How about that?
Well, and you got to, I mean, it's, to me, the NFL, the final 8 teams, who would have ever guessed? I mean, take a look at them.
Yes.
You got, you're kidding me, right? You got Denver, Houston, New England, Chicago. Like, those are 4 of your final 8 teams. And then, and by the way, got 3 teams from a division. Guess which division it is? Well, obviously, it's the NFC North. Nope, wrong division. Oh, wow. Okay, well, maybe Dallas had a good season, and it's the NFC East. No, wrong division. Well, okay, then it's got to be the AFC North, right? They got all these good. No, wrong division.
AFC West, right?
Yeah. It's the AFC West. They've got 3 powerful teams. Nope, wrong division. It's the NFC West. How is this even possible that these 3 teams have gotten this far?
The South and South combo is talked about all year.
There you go. That's keep your eye on it in future years. Although by then, who knows? Maybe Tennessee will have turned into a powerhouse.
Dave Delgrande, fabulous as always, with us all weekend long here on our 2 programs. Okay, more picks to come. In fact, what I think we need to do now, and we'll pipe in Nephew Dave here in a few minutes. We're missing my man Nick Athen, I believe. He never got back to me somehow. All right, so I'll cue in Nephew Dave. We'll go ahead and get things going with him. And we'll do a little art of making the tickets here. At some point, do I want to start a spiel now? Let's just start perusing, right? Complete blank slate. It's almost like remote viewing. You know how, you don't know what you're trying to. If you don't know what a remote viewer is somebody who you don't tell them anything. You basically give them a sealed envelope. They put it to their head, and they start drawing whatever comes to mind. And a lot of times they'll target something like, big world events like, Mount St. Helens erupting or something like that, or, who's on board the 3A Atlas spaceship, things of that nature. And the CIA has used remote viewers. Yes, the Central Intelligence Agency has used remote viewers in a number of capacities over the years, and some fascinating subjects and controversial as well. Maybe people knowing too much than what they should know, right? You know too much. You know what happens sometimes. And honestly, that's part of the reason why we're almost the afraid to do this Inquisition Unknown program, season 2 coming up here at some point, is you start talking about things, people start turning their heads and looking at you like you're a crazy man. And it's bad enough for moving lines like crazy people on the Sunday morning as it is that we need to go down that route. Good morning, Nephew Dave. Is this you?
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Doing well.
All right. So Doug Grandy, we got his picks. And what we have, Nephew Dave, is perhaps a double precipitation scenario here with the games today. Looks like we have a light snowfall for sure. Our man, a la 4th and 1, boots on the ground up there in the tri-state area of Massachusetts and Connecticut and the other states, New York, says there's definitely light snowfall. That should affect the game there today. And now we're looking at 60% chance of what would be snow. I mean, there's no rain about it when it's 20 degrees. And windy conditions, perhaps, at Soldier Field. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, can you ask for much better weather for playoff football?
And on that note, you got to buyer beware. You really, really do. I mean, don't get overly invested in your super overs. Know that if you're going to get an over, you're more likely barely to kind of get it. You know, you never know. It seems like the Bears and the Rams could light it up for sure. But I don't know. I've seen these games in the past when we get these snow games, especially with the stakes that are high. I mean, this smells like a double under rat to me. I don't see the lines budging that way. We're staying steady, though, 40.5, 48.5 in the Bears game, 40.5 in the Patriots game. And all week, you've been hearing a lot of under for the Texans and Patriots game, yet the spread is still staying right there at 40.5. Now, I've heard the opposite. I've heard a lot of over for the Bears and the Rams. And we've seen Stafford play decently in bad weather, for sure. Maybe not super cold, but at least in rainy weather and slick weather. And we haven't really seen the total budge there either, at least towards an under. So it almost smells like a rat, Dave, that we could have 2 over scenarios. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Steve, anything's possible. That's one thing. But with Houston and New England, I mean, you're talking about 2 of the better defensive units.
You're hard pressed to really see how that's going to happen, right?
I just couldn't see the Texans and Patriots getting over. I mean, that's going to be a classic low scoring playoff game right there.
Okay. All right. So let's look at that game first. The line's now 3.5, Dave. I mean, who do you like to win right now?
Oh, I think
without the points. Don't even think about the points.
Right. I think New England narrowly just because of the injury to Collins for Houston. I think the Patriots have the slight offensive advantage. Defensive, maybe the same or slightly towards the Texans, and that's what's keeping them in it right now. That's pretty much what won them the game last week. So can they duplicate that? I think this one's going to be close. It could be right there on the number for the Patriots.
All right. I did an interesting play because I have it risk-free, and I'll talk about that first with everybody. Now, I'm trying to zag a little bit, and the zig has been, when you talk about a zigzag, the zig has been Ramondre Stevenson and his over receive yards, which is at 20.5 today. Stevenson's been money on his receive prop the last few weeks. And Drake May definitely loves to throw him the ball. A little bit tough, built tougher for weather here, perhaps, with a slick ball, as Ramondre Stevenson's a Southern boy, is Travion Henderson, who played at Ohio State. So we know that he can handle the elements a little bit more, perhaps. Just throwing that out there. And that's something that just kind of came to mind on a very weak philosophical point of view but important, because if Vrabel kind of says that to himself, maybe we see the opportunities for Henderson go up a little bit. And at a game against the Texans, I mean, their defense, Dave just said it himself. What do you do if you're a football team and you need to win against to try to move the ball and try to have success? Well, a big part of that is absolutely the passing game from the running backs, right? In fact, the only time the 49ers moved the ball against Seattle was with McCaffrey getting the ball thrown to him for the most part. Now, he only got his 40 or 50 yards through the air, and he went out. But when they had to move the chains, a few times there was McCaffrey. Why not Travion Henderson in that zag role today, zigzagging off of Ramondre Stevenson a little bit? Travion Henderson, we talked about it yesterday, was 4.5 for his receive yards, and now it's at 5.5. That baseline seems like the lock of the century if you want to put down 1,000 to win 1,000, right? But what do we do on this show? We like to again move the lines like crazy people here. And if I take Travion Henderson and his receive yards, now 20 yards is 4-1. That's very, 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 very enticing. But since we have this big free bet that we're going to try to take advantage of, we'll take Travion Henderson all the way up to 40 yards receiving, which, a good back can do on a good day, right? And maybe a little slicker slide around a little bit. That's 13-1 right now. When I played it this morning, I got 17-1. I parlayed that 40 Travion Henderson for 40 yards, and I made the Patriots point spread Patriots plus 1.5 at a nice price. So I can lose by a point even in a weird way if this is a field goal game. And that $250 pays out $7,700 on that bet. How about that?
Yeah, I like it.
Now, I'm not even laying my spread with the Pats. I'm getting 1.5. And basically, I just want the Pats to win and Travion Henderson to somehow find his way to 40. And that's all we need to happen. So that's the big bet of the day, Dave. What do you think of that?
I like it, man. It's gonna I think it's gonna require a screen to Henderson that's gonna need to go for 15 or 20, to try and get half of it to get you close.
Yeah, and then chip away the rest.
Now, these things can happen, but this is why it's gambling, right? I mean, 40 yards at that number.
And for the payout, if we're looking for a big payout and we're getting a risk-free shot up to that amount, so we get $250 back in free bets, that's basically used like money, then, I mean, it's worth it to take a big shot like that to win big with just two things to happen.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. All right. So that's number one. Other receiving yards in this game. So that tells you where I lie. Now, I also have Patriots all line on a ticket. If they win by 12.5, that's going to cash. No, I'm sorry. 9.5 is going to cash a nice, close to 4-digit ticket. Not quite. And then that's left over from yesterday. And then also, I have them with the Bears on the all line. But somehow both those teams going to win by 2 scores. Then it's going to be a bloodbath for me. But we'll not expect that and maybe just somehow back our way into it. Receiving prop-wise, man, you got some low hangers in this game. My man Kyle Williams, 5.5. Jalen Noel, 9.5. Cade Stover, 8.5. Austin Hooper, 9.5. Woody Marks, 8.5 receive yards. That's it. Stroud faces the same thing today in terms of probably needing to dump the ball off, to be honest, especially without Nico Collins. You got to figure Woody Marks' stock is up in this receive game Let's take a look at some of these numbers we can play in a minute. And this is will be part of your art of making the tickets. Xavier Hutchinson, 29.5. We talked about Henderson, 5.5. Ramondre Stevenson is at 20.5. My man Demario Douglas, 18.5. Christian Kirk, 38.5. Jaden Higgins, 37.5. 33.5 for Boutte. 39.5 for Schultz. 39.5 for Hunter Henry. And Diggs is your favorite at 48.5. The longest, let's see here, receiving yards, the most receiving yards in this game is going to be an interesting one because you're going to get some good numbers on some guys here that are some very low-hanging fruit. How about my man Travion Henderson? $10 wins you 1,000 if he's the leading receiver guy today. Woody Marks, $10 will win you 1,250. Kyle Williams, 35-1. Jalen Noel, 30-1. Demario Douglas, 22-1. Ramondre Stevenson, 27-1. Keyshawn Boutte, 7-1. Hunter Henry, 6-1. Schultz, 7-1. Kirk plus 550. Jaden Higgins, 5-1. Stephon Diggs plus 340. Anyone on that list, Dave? Longest receiver you might want to take a shot with? I'd put $10 on Henderson.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, Steve. You can really kind of pick your poison with that group there. I could see a lot of these guys, catching a long pass, and that's really all you're going to need in a game like this.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Or, break your yak, i.e. the running backs. A guy like Kyle Williams becomes attractive, Dave, if they send him deep on a ball. Because they're not, Vrabel's going to use some sneaky players today. That's what he does. That's Josh McDaniels. You got to remember, too, guys, this is a play caller for the Patriots who's been, for the most part, in every aspect, a 6-time champion. I don't know how many rings McDaniels has. He's come and gone a little bit,
Right.
So I lost track of his rings. But he's got a few. So he's going to know how to pull out the stops, is basically what I'm trying to say there. So there are plenty of good odds on these Patriot receivers today. Rushing wise, Woody Marks, 53.5. Travion Henderson, 36.5. Ramondre Stevenson, 39.5. Drake May, 37.5. CJ Stroud, 9.5. Man, that Drake May number is high. I had high totals for Purdy and Allen. Both came up just short. Josh Allen had 66 yards rushing yesterday.
Yeah, that was great.
Passing props. Baseline yards, 219.5. Drake May. Stroud, 211.5. Now, again, if you want to follow the an insurance policy type of ticket and you want to get some unders today, find 5 props to bet at an under to try to, if all things really go to crap, then, these could be layups. I would look at CJ Stroud under 211.5 passing yards. I would throw that on the list. Under 20.5 completions for CJ Stroud is minus 130. I'd consider that. Passing touchdowns. Drake May for 3 is plus 470. CJ Stroud for 3 is plus 630. The team points. Baseline. New England is at let's see, minus 108 is over 22.5. I kind of like that sneaky over. This has 27-3, 27-9 written all over to me. I think the Patriots are, Del Grandy said it. You know what the Patriots remind you of, Dave? They remind you of Indiana in college football. They just play football, you know?
Right.
They just play a good brand of football. It's very balanced. It's not flashy. It is gritty, but you're still not grinding away. You basically have your foot on the accelerator a good amount as it is. Alternate numbers today for the Pats. Let's see. Over 27.5 is plus 265, plus 430 to get to 31. Houston total points, 19.5. So you'll get a good number on Houston if you think that they can light up the scoreboard somehow. And now let's just look at the touchdown scores. Stevenson's plus 160, Marks plus 170, 2-1 for Henry, plus 210 for Diggs. Henderson plus 230. All right. Touchdowns may be limited. Dave, how come we didn't have like Mecole Hardman parlayed yesterday to there are any number of long shots. Coleman, right? Coleman was what, 7-1 for you? Hardman was 12-1. Let's see. The Broncos, they got in some obscure guys too to score. So there's some big payouts for the long shot touchdown scorers yesterday. The long shots on this one would be, look, you get Nick Chubb at 10-1, Jalen Noel 10-1, Kyle Williams is at plus 850, Demario Douglas plus 550, Austin Hooper. He's definitely alive, 7-1. He gets used.
I just played a Efton Chisholm straight up anytime touchdown.
Yeah, 12-1. That's not the worst thing in the world. That's a guy we mentioned all season long who was going to eventually get involved. And unfortunately, he got involved in a week where I needed another player for the Patriots to win a huge bet. That didn't happen. In fact, my guy was right there to congratulate Chisholm on the field right next to him when he called it. So Chisholm is, if you don't know, he is a Wes Welker, Julian Edelman type of player. A little scatty third string wide receiver who's going to be gritty, he catch the ball, and he is a fan favorite by far. They would love to see him. The crowd would go crazy if he scored today, Dave.
Oh, yeah, 12, absolutely.
I like that 12-1. I might have to put a little bit on that myself. All right. So
yeah, I just played it El Cheapo, but I was like, you know what? Let's just play it by itself in a Keon Coleman type of ticket because, we played that by itself, and we didn't get the king of the end zone, but the straight bet hit, so we'll take the money.
Is the king of the end zone going again today?
No, today's is it's a good one. It's just like last week. It's the NFL Live Millions. So I got to place a bunch of live bets when your game comes on, and that'll qualify me for some free bets if I get chosen, or I'll get a boost. Either way, I'm going to get something.
Gotcha. All right, 2 touchdowns in this game. Woody Marks 12-1, Stevenson 12-1, 17-1 for Henry, Schultz 22-1, Diggs 19-1, Henderson 19-1, Christian Kirk 30-1, Drake May 30-1. That's interesting today. 35-1 for Higgins. Booty is at 45-1. Xavier Hutchinson is at 40-1. Demario Douglas is at 80-1. Drake May's an interesting bet. I would consider playing him straight up for 2 touchdowns this afternoon myself. I've got to refire some of these 2 touchdown guys. All right, Dave, it's the Pats for me. I'll take the alt line because I'm a Homer fan. State of the art of the Union of the Patriots is such. This is our, I'm the Pats expert. Dave's the commander expert. So when our teams come across, we'll throw our 2 cents in on behalf of the organization and its fans. And I will say that the playoffs are back. Here we go. We got a second playoff game in Foxborough. If you would have told the Patriot fans that they could advance to the Super Bowl by beating the Chargers, the Texans, and their old trash heap quarterback, Jared Stidham, next week against the Broncos, then everyone would sign up for that a million times over. So good spot to be in if you are a New England fan. You are in the catbird seat, I would say. Don't make mistakes. Play good football. If they play mistake-free, I think that's the key. Is just win. Try to keep that defensive line on the field a little bit. Wear them out a little bit. Get them going side to side, maybe in that snow a little bit more as well. But they are speedsters. Maybe a lot of cross action and stuff like that. Try to get them running into each other would be a good game plan on behalf of McDaniels. All right, Patriots for me, and I'll take the Patriot team points over. They're all lines, and give me Travion Henderson to receive it to an unknown degree of yards, Dave. Hopefully 200. What are your official plays here?
So I'm going. I'm going to go with the under. For sure. I just love the under today. I've got a couple props going as well. I'll take Jaden Higgins for 40 and a score, and I'll do the same thing with Hunter Henry, 40 and a score on a nice little 26-1 ticket there. So give me the under, and we got some props riding too.
All right. I like it. 40 and a score is very achievable. Dave Delgrandi thinks this is a full green light game with the Bears and the Rams. I don't know if I agree with that per se. I'm worried about this weather again, and more chance of precipitation. 3.5 for the Rams, 48.5. I'll tell you what I like, and it's going to come down to what I saw and have seen in the past with trusting coaches in critical situations. And I don't think I trust McVay. I saw him trying to cough it up last week against Carolina. And if you do that, that's a recipe for disaster against the Bears, because that's what they thrive off of, is you being able to screw up in the second half, and we'll take advantage of it then after we start our slow start. Now, what if the Bears come out to a hot start and put the pressure on, and then those mistakes start to come on behalf of the visiting team? Then that's when that's when we could see an avalanche, to be honest. I expect the Bears to come out and have a hot start today. And I expect the Bears to win this game. I love their coach. I love their running game. Caleb's kind of proved it to me. They got weapons galore, tight ends, receivers. They got enough to match the Rams in that aspect. And quite frankly, I think this is a big home field advantage. So I will call the outright upset with Chicago today. And if they win by 10 points, honestly, that's not going to shock me. Honestly, people too, as well, I would play, because you're going to get paid so well. If you look at either game, which team's more likely to get blown out? Well, the Texans might win, but they're not going to blow out the Patriots, right? Dave, do you agree with that? The Patriots,
yeah, probably.
The Patriots could blow out the Texans if all things go wrong, because they're an outdoor team, weather, etc. So I would put $10 on the Patriots super alt line of some sort, and you're going to get a great number with the Bears on an alt line. And we see it. We see teams winning by double digits all the time over these other teams. I mean, if Carolina can beat the Rams, why not the Bears, right? I mean, that's the way I see it at the end of the day. The Bears at minus 9.5 or plus 630, plus 870 at 12.5. So mix and match that. If you do a Bears minus 12.5 and you do a New England minus 12.5, one, that's a fun bet. All right. And two, you're going to get paid if it hits. And this is much funner than a lottery ticket at the 7-Eleven for $10. I mean, this is exactly your bread and butter of that example. $10 to win $400. $10 to win $407 on both the Bears and the Patriots minus 12.5. All right, so that's how you have some fun with the alt lines. If you do like the Bears, and I do, I don't think the Rams blow out the Bears, but I could see where the cold weather and just, the Stafford is having a bad day overall. comes into play here, and the Bears just take full advantage. We've seen blowouts. We saw one last night, right? 41-6. But don't ever assume that there can't be a blowout in any of these games. Dave, I like the Bears. Whether it gets over or not is another question. I can argue that both ways. It looks like a full green light to me, but I don't trust the weather in that aspect. So I kind of lean on a double under scenario today, but I think the Bears pull out the upset. What do you think?
Yeah, so weather not ideal for the Rams, right? We definitely understand that. But I'm telling you what, the Rams come to play. I think the Rams take care of business on the road here. I like them probably to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. The Bears have been a nice story. They've got it going. I think the future looks very bright for them. But this Rams team, man, I love the weapons, and I know that Chicago can, somewhat match that. They have some skill guys as well. But I'm going to side with the Adams and the Nakuas of the world. I mean, they've just shown you everything. And again, the Bears have been nice. But I look here, at the weaponry. Yeah, they have DJ Moore. I'll probably work him in somewhere. Rome Odunze has been nice. I've been on him since the start. The running backs are good. But, man, it's just I think the personnel is a little bit better for the Rams. And you know what? It wasn't pretty against the Panthers. But, sometimes you have a clunker, and if you can just get through it, maybe a spark ignites, and then the Rams kind of play more of the football that you would think they would. So I think this is a close game. Weather's going to have a little bit to do with it. I don't think they blow them out, but the Rams do come on the road, get it done. Then we have a divisional matchup for the championship.
You know what helps? I don't think you can underestimate either on the behalf of the Rams. Kyron Williams went to Notre Dame. Blake Corum went to Michigan. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, and you're right up there in Illinois in the Big Ten country. In the cold, cold Big Ten country. All right, Dave. Live bet alert here. How about this? We have 2 plays on the board, or 2 plays in pocket this morning. We have at plus 390, straight up, the Wolves and Newcastle under 1.5 goals. It was pouring rain. I was looking at 4.5 goals and then saw how hard it was raining. And then also a bet at 8-1 on the 0-0 tie. We are in the 77th minute. The score is 0-0. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh, nice. I hope it gets home for you.
All right. So, numbers in this game. Terrence Ferguson, 6.5 receive yards. My man Kyle Monungai, love him today, 9.5 receive yards. Kyron Williams, how do you not bet this? 10.5 receive yards. DeAndre Swift, how do you not bet this? 12.5 receive yards. Cole Kmet, 10.5 receive yards. Colby Parkinson, just 19.5 for him. Tyler Higbee, 22.5 for him. DJ Moore, what am I missing here? Just 28.5 for DJ Moore today. What am I missing? Luther Burden III, 38.5. Rome Odunze, 33.5. Colston Loveland has overtaken all of these guys. 56.5 now for Loveland. Wow. I remember when he was at 15. I was like, no one takes this Loveland guy. He's got to break out. And I started throwing him on tickets. Sure enough. Devontae Adams, 54.5. Puka Nacua, 96.5. Hear anything you like, David?
Yeah, I mean, I like it a bunch too. And you look at the receptions for these guys. and that's appetizing too. And I think, both these teams, they can throw it. I would definitely play some of these numbers because, man, are they good.
Let's see. Player total receptions. Let's see. Let me get to some alternates here with that. DJ Moore, 4 catches plus 240. 5 catches plus 550.
Yeah.
Kyron Williams, 3 is at plus 178. Now, Monungai, he's gone under 1.5 receptions a good amount of this year. But you got to figure he's going to be involved. Monungai, 3 catches plus 350. He's an emerging kind of superstar to me, Monungai, Dave.
Yeah.
Like this is a good year, and he's going to come in next year. You know what he's like? He's like a Sproles, a Darren Sproles.
Absolutely he is, yeah.
But maybe more of a bowling ball. So we'll see more of Monungai down the road. Don't be shocked if he gets involved today. The Rams can pressure you on their front four. So yeah, take a look at your reception numbers as well. Rushing numbers. Kyron is at 62.5, Swift 54.5, Corum 46.5, Monungai 36.5. Kind of like that over. Caleb Williams 20.5. I'd be interested in some Caleb Williams today, I think. Stafford is at a half a yard. Del Grande loves it, plus 134. He thinks Stafford gets to 5 yards or so today. Puka Nacua, I like this, Dave. Over 3.5 rushing yards.
Yeah, that's interesting.
For 15 yards plus 360, 20 yards is plus 550.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yep. So there's some fun things to have. In fact, if you're worried about the weather, do things like Puka Nacua over 10.5 yards rushing at a nice price. You're not asking for a lot to get paid out at the end of the day. And even more of a reason I like a lot of these low-hanging numbers we've been talking about. And both these games, mix and match them. I mean, I'm glad we have 3 hours before kickoff, Dave. I can 4 hours before kickoff here. I can fiddle around with all kinds of numbers here. Passing prop wise in this game, let's see. Baseline 215.5 for Caleb. Stafford 263.5. Caleb for 3 touchdowns plus 450. Stafford for 3, just that plus 162. The team points. The Rams is at 26.5. And the Bears are at 22.5. The Rams is what I said. The Rams are at 26.5. The Bears are at 22.5. All right, and now the touchdown props for this game. Devontae Adams is your favorite, minus 115. Puka is your second favorite, minus 110. Kyron at plus 120. Swift plus 145. Loveland 2-1. Monungai plus 210. Parkinson plus 230. Corum plus 270. Adunze plus 280. Higbee plus 310. Burden plus 320. Plus 320 for Caleb Williams. DJ Moore plus 330. Again, I just don't get that, Dave. His long numbers.
Yeah.
Cole Kmet plus 550. Zacchaeus 8-1. Terrence Ferguson 7-1. Guys like Tutu Atwell 18-1. Devin Duvernay, he runs back the kicks 19-1. Davis Allen 11-1. Durham Smithy, he's been used a little bit, Dave. Our man Smythe 20-1 for him. Roddy Rivers, he runs back kicks 35-1 for him. And we saw a kick run back last night by Shaheed. So
yeah,
no, all this can happen. All right, Dave. Bears for me, and you like the Rams?
I like the Rams.
Stay over or under?
Oh man, I I think it goes over, man. We see a fun, snowy game. I think this is a snowy shootout.
A snowy shootout would be fantastic. All right, 2 touchdowns. Devontae Adams plus 550. Puka 6-1. Kyron Williams plus 850. DeAndre Swift 10-1. Kyle Benungai 17-1. Loveland 17-1. Something happened in the soccer game. It sounds like a heroic save. All right, Colby Parkinson 20-1, 25-1. Blake Corum, Dunze 30-1 for 2. Higbee 30-1 for 2. Kalen Williams 30-1 for 2. Burden 33-1. DJ Moore 33-1. Zacchaeus 125-1. J.D. Walker 125-1. All right, Dave, let's do a 2 touchdown madness ticket.
All right.
And let's approach it like this. Well, if we pick the 4 guys, 2 from each game, I can manually put them in for a round robin. So that's what I'll do. So you pick a Texan first, and I'll pick a Patriot, since I'll stick to my specialties here. All right.
All right.
So go ahead and give me a Texan for 2.
You know what? Let's go Jaden Higgins 30-1.
All right. I'll take Drake May at 30-1. All right. Just those 2 guys alone, $2 with you 940. All right. Next game.
I love that.
Rams and the Bears. Which side do you want to pick from?
Well, if you like Chicago, I like LA. Let's do that.
Yep. All right, go ahead.
Man, I want to get risky with this because Steve, I think I'm going to play at least the El Cheapo ticket for it by itself. I don't know why. It's probably a ridiculous idea. I'm going to go Terrence Ferguson 80-1 for 2 touchdowns.
Wow. All right, that is unique. I got him right here, 80-1. Terrence Ferguson. I'll throw DJ Moore on there. I've said it before. Why not? 33-1. So we have Jaden Higgins, Drake May, Terrence Ferguson, of all people, and DJ Moore. I almost feel like I need to redo this ticket and get rid of Ferguson and put Puka in there on another ticket.
Yeah.
Let's see. $2 wins us $804,000 of all 4 of these guys.
Or you could put Parkinson in there because I have him for 1. So I got him for 1.
You said Ferguson. I'd hate to change it off Ferguson to Parkinson, and then Ferguson hits, right?
Yeah.
So Ferguson it is. I'll replay a ticket though and throw Puka in there to give this thing some more life and excitement. Okay. Sound good? All right. 2 touchdown sounder to wrap all that up. And then I want you to give me one more, Dave. You know what? Let's do the opposite. Well,
all right.
You pick a Patriot and I'll pick a Texan.
Johnny. 4 weeks.
And then I'll do a Ram and you do a Bear.
That's $2
All right.
plus tip.
Gee, Johnny, I don't have a dime. Sorry.
Didn't ask for a dime. $2.
Give me 2 pounds and a Rick Bell.
It's a jungle out there. You got to look out for number 1, but don't step at number 2.
Utah, give me 2.
And Jimmy 2 times, who got that nickname because he said everything twice, like.
I'm going to go get the papers,
All right, Dave, go ahead and give me a Patriot.
All right. Well, how do you want to do this, Steve? Are you looking for some long shots, or you want me to get a little bit more conservative?
I'm good with any Patriot in this scenario, to be honest.
I have 2 that I still need in a round robin. I can't get the whole bet, but I can still take home some round robin action.
All right.
I need both of these guys, but I will select Keyshawn Butte.
All right. I'll throw.
The other one was Douglas.
Okay. I'll throw in Woody Marks. Make life a little easy on that front.
All right.
And if I'm going to pick a Ram, go ahead and give me I'll take Devontae Adams.
All right. I'll take DeAndre Swift.
Now, this is very reasonable. Butte, Marks, Devontae Adams, and DeAndre Swift. $2 wins you 36,000 on all those guys.
Nice.
All right, Dave, we'll let you go. Go ahead and do your finish up the meet, and we'll see you here in the lounge before kickoff.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so Nephew Dave's out. Let's see if the man wants to call in real quick. All right, so I think we have some good tickets overall. Let's build a reception ticket for you guys, and then we'll get on out of here. And maybe we'll have the Ant-Man call up as well. And I'm sorry, I need to know what's going on in this soccer game. So bear with me as I click around for half a second. Okay, we're at 0-0 with the Wolves and Newcastle, and they are in the 90 plus 1 minute. Let's get this game over with. Hey, we start today a nice little winner of, I think, $230. That helps with football for today. That's for sure. So that'd be a nice little start here. All right, let's go receptions. And let's look at this last game first. Let's find 4 guys to catch receptions on this art of making the ticket, and we'll get out of here. Kyron Williams for 3. He's up plus 178. I feel like any more than that, and we're in trouble. So let's do that. Kyron Williams for 3. And what's up with DJ Moore again? Let's take him for 5 at plus 550. Those 2 guys alone now are paying 14-1. So DJ Moore for 5 catches and Kyron Williams for 3. All right. And then it gets spread around so much with all of these guys, to be honest. Adunze, 4 catches for him is plus 210. I just like the DJ Moore number. Let's go with that. And then we're not asking Kyron to get us our 4th and pull our hair out, which is paying nice at plus 410. Maybe we do that. That's 28-1. Kyron for 4 catches, DJ Moore for 5 catches. We'll look at both numbers, but we'll put Kyron Williams in for 3 for now. And then let's go to this New England game. And I think we stick to the Henderson angle. Henderson for his alternate receptions. Because I don't think we're going to need much from him to get a nice plus number. 3 catches is plus 450. So let's do that. 3 catches by Travion Henderson, 3 by Kyron Williams, 5 by DJ Moore, and then let's not ask a lot by another one. Let's look at Diggs. Or should we look at Hunter Henry? Either way. I mean, 5 for Diggs is a minus 104. We had him last week. He only got 2. That's what's worrisome here. So maybe he is due, right? Butte just doesn't get a lot. He needs 3 for plus 102. Demario Douglas, 3 catches for him is at plus 205. Ramondre Stevenson, we could do 3 for him at minus 120. Just keep it in the backfield. I mean, do we just have some fun and go with Diggs for 5? All right, let's do that. Minus 104. And this actually isn't the worst ticket in the world. So Travion Henderson for 3 catches. Stephon Diggs for 5. DJ Moore for 5. Kyron Williams for 3. $10 wins us $1,342. I think that's fair. That's a nice, fun little ticket. I might put 25 on that. 25 wins you $3,355 on that. So 3 catches by Henderson, 5 by Diggs, 5 by DJ Moore, 3 by Kyron Williams. All right, that is the art of making the ticket. That's fun. I don't know what else to leave you guys with. We've crunched all the numbers. I mean, there's plenty of low-hanger receiver numbers out there. Again, do we want to build one more ticket with you? Let's, I guess, just do that. Instead of receptions, let's do the let me take a picture of this real quick. Let's just do the yards, since we do have some of these low-hanger guys, and we do have a few minutes. Ant-Man says he'll call after the store. Will we be on? I don't know if I can talk anymore to keep us on past the store. All right, let's do receiving numbers for yards. Oh, man, the soccer game's killing me. It's over. 0-0. We win. Look at that. That's a good way to start the day. 0-0 winners. Correct score on the Wolves in Newcastle. And under 1.5 goals. Never a sweat. Look at that. Good job, Steve. All right. Receiving numbers. Where are these guys? Come on. Alt numbers. Again, Travion Henderson. Let's get just modest with him. 20 yards is at plus 370. So we're not asking the universe here. Other low hanger guys. Woody Marks, right? 8.5. Let's make him 20 yards. Plus 285. Actually, at 25 yards, we're really getting paid. Let's do that. 25-1. Both of these guys for 25 yards. Woody Marks and Travion Henderson. Let's add them to the later game. Man, let's just take my man Monungai. 25 yards, right? We're not asking for a lot. Plus 340. And then do we take Kyron Williams 25 yards and just keep it like that? He's at plus 340. Okay. $10 wins you $3,727. Woody Marks, Henderson, Monungai, and Kyron Williams, all for 25 yards. Let's throw a DJ Moore on top of that for 50 yards. And now our $10 is paying $15,000 just about. $14,356. So I would do this. Play these running backs by themselves in one game, Marks and Henderson, just to start those two. That way, if you get a win, you got to win. And then add on another ticket with Marks, Henderson, Monungai, and Kyron Williams. Do one Woody Marks, Henderson, and DJ Moore by himself. And then one with Marks, Henderson, and all three of those guys by themselves. And that's how you rack up some big bucks. Not a lot of things to happen. That's asking these guys to run across your backyard one time. Kyron Williams, Monungai, Travion Henderson, and Woody Marks. Catch the ball and run through my backyard one time. All right. We won't wait for the Ant-Man. We're right at 11 o'clock. We'll move on with our day. 4 hours until kickoff. You guys have plenty of time for that. In terms of the Championship Sunday slate, I think the thing to do is this: we'll just sleep in and we'll come on at 9:00 in the morning again. Super Bowl Sunday. I do kind of want to be the first live show at it since there's so much Super Bowl coverage. I want to be on early that day. So we will get back to the 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we'll be with you throughout the whole morning with all our guests from throughout the year, everyone involved, and we'll do that when the time comes. We'll do championship Sunday next Sunday morning at 9:00. Hopefully, we'll all be richer from the games this weekend. And that will be a wrap on the NFL season and the round robin for season number 4. Coming out with our 5th season next year, hopefully bigger and better than ever. We will always take sponsors for this program, people. I'm easy to find. And let's take this show on tour a little bit more as well. That'd be a fun thing to do. Maybe we can do some a draft special like we did last year, and maybe do some a hockey trip or something like that regionally here. We got the mobile studio ready to go, so it'd be fun to kind of get this program kicked up another gear. Obviously, life's just expensive, so trying to travel the country and do things on your own dime just isn't the cheapest thing in the world. But we'd love to spread the word of the round robin. See plenty of viewers this morning, and everyone who's been new to the show this year, and our returning guest, like our man, 4th and 1, comes back and listens all the time. We appreciate you guys out there. Thanks for tuning us in, and let's continue to win a lot of money, refine our craft, and perfect this thing down the road. Man, just reflecting overall in the season, again, the playoffs have been good. We had some good, moderate winning weeks. We had this one big payday, right? Week 3 or 4, maybe it was. I think week 3. Whatever the week the Rams beat Tennessee pretty bad. That was the winner for us. And then the Ant-Man, he's had a fantastic season. He's done great. Nephew Dave, he's cashed some tickets along the way. And we look to be stronger next year for sure. I definitely have come, again, last night, just a few Purdy yards away from bigger wins. Happy to cash the parlay that I did. But there's more out there left on the table. We left some scraps out there for sure this year, missing some things by just a yard or two or a catch or two. Several instances of big payouts we missed by a yard or two or one catch. Literally, I can think of about 3 or 4 right at the top of my head. It was a fun bet this year with the Patriots to go 6-0 in that division at 250 to 1 odds until the Bills came back and beat them. That ticket was as good as cashed at $25,000. We didn't get there. So we left some out on the plate. We look to just improve on all that down the road, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. All right, we'll go ahead and close it up. Don't bet $1 million overs today, knowing that these 2 games could be under. Just buyer beware just a little bit. All right, good luck to everyone. Have a wonderful Sunday wherever you are. Be safe. Oh, is this the Ant-Man? Did we get him at the last minute? Let me turn on. We got to get the Ant-Man on here one time.
Oh,
look at this.
I'm pulling out of a Kroger parking lot. You're not getting anything out of me. The only thing you're getting out of me are freaking idiot people and stupid buggies that are on the loose.
Give me who wins the games today, Anthony. That's all I need from you.
I don't want to tell you.
He likes the Texans, and he likes the Bears or do you like the Bears or the Rams?
I like the Bears to win this game, and I like the Texans to stomp on Drake May. If I can't have a good Saturday, I don't want any of you to have a good Saturday.
That's all. Anthony, a little bit of a Josh Allen hangover. All right, man, we'll cue up the music. You got the Texans. You got the Bears. Is the Bears game a full green light? Fun game?
Oh, 100%. I like Kamanungai alternate receiving yards.
As mentioned on this show just moments ago. We love it too. Hey, plug in these 5 guys for 25 receiving, Anthony, and the payout's great. Kyron, Woody Marks, Travion Henderson, and Monungai. Add on DJ Moore to the top of that on another ticket for 50 and see what you get.
We'll discuss later.
Good luck, everybody.